Hi, I'm Joie Gharrity. I'm founder of 113 Branding, and welcome to the 113 Branding Red Carpet TV web series. I'm a brand strategist, marketer, author, and influencer. And I have Miss Lisa Lamont with us today, and she'll be sharing with us very shortly. But first, with every episode, I'm going to be starting with the 113 Branding signature strategy that can gain your brand more visibility and influence in the marketplace. And today's signature strategy is all about spotlighting other brands. Just like this show is about spotlighting other brands. When you spotlight other brands, guys, the spotlight will turn back and directly on your brand, and it really will elevate you out in the marketplace. So I want to introduce today's guest, Lisa Lamont. And sure, she is a business and spiritual advisor. She's also a radio show host, and she's a speaker. I've been on her show many times. If you guys ever have a chance to be on it, let's hope that she asks you to be on it. Or if you have a chance to watch it, it's called Get Your Prance On. And she is, let me just read her little 100-word bio. Lisa was gifted a unique set of gypsy cards over 35 years ago to do readings and give her clients clarity and direction. She also creates custom hypnosis audios to help women entrepreneurs achieve success by removing old stories and holding them back. And just what I want to say is I highly, highly recommend her. Lisa is a game changer. She's been a game changer for me both personally and professionally. So welcome, Lisa. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Joy, for having me on the show. I am so excited. I'm just like, I have my little prancing kitten Meow Cup here with me today. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. So listen, I want to get started, and I really want us to start sharing some of your strategies or your tools and techniques that you use for your brand to elevate out there in the marketplace. And there's one in particular that I'm a huge fan of, and I just would like to tell the audience out there that I do this every single morning, and it has, again, been one of the biggest game changers for my business. And so, Lisa, would you like to share what that strategy or that tool is?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show so I can talk about this. The technique, a lot of people have heard of Louise Hay, and she talks about doing mirror work. And that's where I first learned the technique of doing affirmations in front of the mirror. And so over the years in my business and my company, I've retweaked it and called it Mirror Love. And the reason for doing that was one of my clients said, it shouldn't be work to do loving affirmations in front of the mirror. It should be love. And I'm like, yes, mirror love. And just last week, I did a trademark on the term mirror love because it has been an absolute game changer for myself and for yourself and everybody else. And then I created this cute little mirror Klingon. And so I don't know if you can see it there. It says,
can you tell us? Because we can't really see.
Yes, it says, I love you. What good may I do for you today? And this technique called Mirror Love is what I have my clients do that are in business, the affirmations. It's like, what are you going to bring into your world today? Because so many people are focused on stuff from the past, or they worry about the future, and they don't live in their bodies in the present moment. Yeah. And for an entrepreneur, it's really, really important because you are the CEO of your company and of your brand. And so doing this mirror love technique, and I'll give you some examples, is what are you going to say that you're going to bring to business into your world today?
Right. So Lisa, so just so everyone's clear out there, guys, yes. the way that it works is that you literally go to an actual mirror and you stand in front of the mirror and you say, I love you, Joie Gharrity. What may I do for you today? And Lisa, it's really interesting that you're sharing that we're talking about this today, is because just this morning, I had read an amazing quote by Wayne Dyer. And he talks about how we have so many thoughts going through our heads when we wake up in the morning that in essence, it is kind of like a meditation. It's a way of us getting back into alignment, but more being in purpose. Purpose here on earth. So Lisa, will you share step by step of how you go about doing your mirror love in the morning so others can quote unquote copy you? Because I know I do. I know all your clients do.
I love to have people copy. And so I'm going to give you an example of what I did today, if I can share that. So when I get up in the morning, I do sit and I do put my feet on the ground before I even get out of bed, and I do a meditation. Like I say to the universe, I'm open, whatever it is that you want me to do, who I'm supposed to connect with, whatever that is, I'm ready to receive it. And so I just sit there and I'm quiet. It's hard for us to get quiet in our bodies, which is, I love your share about the meditation. And so it's just sitting there and being open to that. And so following that, it's going into the bathroom in front of the mirror. And I tell people they have a hard time looking at themselves in the mirror. Matter of fact, they'll wash their hands and they just completely avoid that beautiful woman or man, if you're a man, in the mirror. And so this morning when I got up, I looked into the mirror and I said, Lisa, I love you. What good may I do for you today? And I look in the eyes. It's really important. Look in the eyes. Don't look at the body, but look into your eyes. And today I said that I'm going to have a wonderful time being on Joie Gharrity's show and sharing the message of mirror love. I'm going to teach others that they too can embrace this technique to bring the success in their lives and in their world. Today, I'm going to eat healthy foods, and I'm going to take 30 minutes today to go for a walk. It's beautiful outside. Today, I'm going to follow up with XYZ clients to see where they're at on their course of working with me. So it's telling out loud, and it's so important, Joey, to say it out loud, because if we don't say it out loud, all those little voices, those thoughts, they get blended into our subconscious mind, and it mixes up with all those doubt and fear affirmations. So we don't act. So when we say it out loud in front of the mirror, what action steps am I going to take today, not tomorrow, but today, then you will act on them.
Yes. And, and Lisa, so like I shared with the audience earlier, is that I do this every single morning, and you guys push, dream big, get bigger. I even go as far as saying how many clients that I'm going to close this month, what kind of riches am I going to, the abundance I'm going to pull in this month. But be detailed. Get really detailed about it. But also, too, see how far you're willing to push it. Now, something that I want to share with everyone out there is that when you first start with Mirror Love, it will feel really uncomfortable in your skin. Really uncomfortable. Because the ego doesn't want you to show up for yourself, first of all. And second of all, community and the society at large, since very little, has been very critical on us. The media, the magazines. You're not pretty enough. You're not good enough. No. We're going to turn that on its head. It's a great way to start your day out there, so I highly recommend it. Lisa, there's also another strategy or tool you want to share today about deal breakers. What's that about?
Well, the deal breakers actually can tie in with your mirror love. And so I tell people, they make these long lists of what they're looking for in whether it's a personal relationship or a business relationship. I'm looking for a person that does all these things. And I tell people to just narrow it to 5 things. Like, what are the 5 must-have qualities of a person if you want to date? And I say, raise the bar. You talked about when you do affirmations, stretch and raise the bar. If you had 5 clients last month, then stretch it to 8 clients. Be open to 10 clients. So just, people are afraid to go for something bigger. But on the affirmations, the 5 deal breakers, what are the 5 qualities today that you're looking for in the ideal contact or the person? Like, what is it that you want? Do you want somebody who's a graphic artist? Do you want to connect with a photographer because you need to get headshots? Are you looking for somebody that's able to do that? It's like, what are you looking for? Because we're just randomly out there. We have to be specific. And so limit it to 5 things that you're looking for of a person that you want to connect with or a business you want to connect with.
So it's really in alignment with when we do our goal settings, and I love how you're asking everyone to really push it up to the next level.
Yes.
How are you going to push this from here to here? And Lisa and I are very close. We actually have an upcoming workshop on February 11th in downtown Seattle together. We did a series of workshops last year, and they were incredibly successful. And a very unique workshop because I bring in branding and marketing, and then Lisa brings in her business downloads, her psychic business downloads for the attendees in the room. It's incredibly powerful. But something that Lisa and I both, I would say, for our alliance partnership has worked on is pushing the envelope, pushing that next level, not being scared of what's going to happen next. Lisa, you shared something yesterday online that I thought was very courageous and also got a lot of attention. Would you share that with everyone and what that was like for you before you shared it, and then the why behind why you shared it?
Well, it makes me want to tear up just thinking about it. I raised my bar in front of the mirror yesterday, and I said, because I just openly told people I'm psychic. Like, I've hidden behind, I didn't raise the bar for myself. I hid behind intuitive. Intuitive was safe because everyone's intuitive, right? You're
Right.
intuitive, I'm intuitive.
Yeah.
But what I do is actually much, much deeper, and it is a psychic. I do connect with the other side. I do see things much more deeply. And so when I did my mirror love affirmations in there, it just came out. It said, today you're going to do a card reading for entrepreneurs today, and you're going to post it. Now, that was not my intention. I did my mirror love, and after I did it, I just sat there and went, oh shit,
The
really?
power of mirror love. The
I'm
power of
going to
mirror
do
love.
that. And so I did it. I just got present. I connected with God, and I said, whatever it is that you want me to say to these entrepreneurs that will help them. And so when I pulled the two cards, one from my deck that I was gifted over 35 years ago, they're just regular deck. It's the writing on them that's unique. And then also Doreen Virtue, I use her cards also. And so I just went with spirit, and I just pulled the two cards, and it just came out, and the message was absolutely perfect.
It was, and it did very well. It did very well.
The other thing that I did, Joey, was my spirit guide, Arrow, said, post it on LinkedIn also. And now that was really pushing the bar because, LinkedIn is business. I worked at a major law firm for many years, and I'm connected to a lot of attorneys, and I'm just like, oh, wow. Oof. Yeah. And I got tons and tons of views on it. So that was raising my bar.
A big reason, Lisa, when we sat down last year, we decided to do these series of workshops together. A big reason for me of wanting to do it is that I feel like we have to bring the two worlds together. This whole idea is just business, or it's just healing, or it's just spiritual, or it's just business, and that there's this big wall between the two. And frankly, I think the master, like major players out there that are like at the top of their level, like Richard Branson, for instance, etc., that early on that they understood that they should accumulate as many tools as possible. Yes. And that the tools were going to come from mirror love to getting their astrology done to sitting down and learning major sales techniques, right? Yes. To me, there's no division anymore. I feel that all has to come together as one. Yeah. And that being said, I am a huge fan of your readings. And here's what I want to tell the marketplace about Lisa's readings is that first of all, she was trained by a very famous psychic. So she was trained for many, many years. She's been doing this for 30 plus years. So this is not her first rodeo by any nation, right? She's at the top of her game. But the readings, they're not readings that are going to shake you to the core. What they're readings to get clarity. Yes. Of how to take the next step. But also they've been great for me because they've really encouraged me to jump off huge cliffs and know it's going to be okay. Yes. That's what I think that's what your readings have done for me, both personally and professionally.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Well, and it's interesting because, Ronald Reagan, when he was president, they had a spiritual advisor the whole time that he was the president in the office.
Really well.
I have even consulted with somebody in the top 5 slots of the White House in the past. I've even consulted with somebody, but they're certainly not going to say, "Oh yeah, Lisa's great. Work with Lisa." So that's kind of the downside of my business for all these years before I went into the entrepreneur business. As I do work with a lot of professionals. I work with HR directors who won't even hire somebody until they get my feedback on whether to hire certain candidates. So it's really interesting. So.
Yeah, but again, it's just like these old school ways of thinking that everything has to be one way or the other. I mean, we're just so far past that right now, and anyone that really wants to, again, get to the next level, I don't know how you're going to do that without getting some major tools in your toolbox and some major mindset components, and have team or people that you can go to like Lisa Lamont that's going to help you, because when we're entrepreneurs, there are dips in the
Yes.
road.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. It's just dips in the road. And it's just so helpful to get that clarity so you can get across that bridge.
Yep.
That's absolutely my point of view and how strongly I feel about all this. So Lisa, you're also a a TV web series host.
Yes.
And you're also a speaker. And
Yes.
I have had the privilege of seeing you speak out here. She flew out to California, San Mateo, and spoke in front of a very large crowd. And I just was wondering if you could just share a little bit in terms of what that experience was like for you. Because I know there's people out there that want to speak, that want to become speakers, right? And your why behind doing it and what it's done for you.
The biggest reason for me speaking is, first of all, I've done like little mini talks like for small women groups, and I've talked to them and shared with them. But for those of you who are really interested and you feel like this desire, I want to speak, I hired Joie. So sorry, Joie, but I'm giving you a shout out, because until I had structure in what I talked about, I just felt like I was just like blah 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 blah. It's really important for anybody who's interested to work with a professional. We all need to hire people to do and help us and teach us those tools that we don't have in our toolbox. And so when I worked with you, I was able to talk about what I was passionate about, but to share a part of my journey that would inspire other people to be able to see worth in themselves. And so when I did that, the first time I spoke on the stage, and there was almost 100 people there, and I was really nervous. But because I worked with you, I had a plan. It's called structure. And something that as a healer, I don't have a lot of structure in my personal life. I'm kind of the free-flowing person. But, everybody has a message. Everybody has a story. And a lot of people I know want to get on stage. And for those of you who see all these people that say, you want to be a speaker on my stage, and you pay them money and you go interview, and there's a lot of scam people out there, so just really be careful of that.
Yeah, exactly. What I thought was really interesting about your particular keynote was that it was breaking down those boundaries of allowing people to see you three-dimensionally, right? Because as a psychic, sometimes people see us, or as a brand strategist and marketer, they see us a certain way. So I was able to do that. But it's also to break through these old stories of what a psychic is supposed to be like. Right. So by sharing that story with the audience, I know that myself and everyone else in that audience felt so much closer to you, so much closer to you. But tell us, but also share with the audience a little bit, how did it elevate you and your brand?
Well, it brought me a lot more business, that's for sure, because people needed to see, like you said, I'm from the spiritual realm of business. And so I was able to show all those people that were there I was speaking to that I do have a corporate background. They learned that I worked at a major law firm in downtown Seattle for many, many years in marketing, that I was this credible person, and I wasn't just this little woo and throw rose petals and fairy dust around. But it was important for them to learn that I had this real side, but also a vulnerable side, that they learned from me that day of a big challenge that I had, that they were, and a lot of people could relate because they too have gone through some of those personal challenges. Well,
here you just landed on a really important point, and this is a big thing that I work on with in my speaker program with the one-on-one speakers is being able to make us relatable, right? So that, listen, when you're a coach or consultant out there, or you're actually in any type of business, people have to feel comfortable in telling you their secrets. That's just the way it is. But if they feel you're way up here, it hurts business in such a big way, because they're just like, well, I don't want her to know that I'm not perfect. I don't want her to know that I'm not blah, blah, blah. And FYI, everyone, no one's perfect. But sharing those tangible stories, but more from a hero's journey.
Yes.
Lisa took us into a journey the whole time I was with her. Like, we were all with her the entire journey. We even cried as she was taking us through her journey, because we felt empathy, but we also could see ourselves in her world and relate to those stories, right? Right, Lisa? So that's a big reason why I think a lot of people should be speaking out there. Lisa, do you think that everyone has a story to share after we worked on this together?
Everyone has a story.
Right?
Everyone has a journey. All of my clients, when they're ready to talk, I'm sending them to you, but they're afraid. Here's the other thing, Joy. Some people are afraid to tell their story. Like they have this desire to tell their story, but like they're worried about being judged.
Yeah.
And the only judge we have is ourselves, right in here, and our old stories, and not good enough, and being picked on, or mom didn't love me, all these old stories. And it's just like, use those stories to empower others. Because when I was talking, it wasn't the story was about me,
Yeah.
but it was really for the audience.
Yeah.
It was really for the audience to say that, if I can overcome this stuff that I went to when the phone rang, I'm not afraid to pick up the phone anymore, because I now get good news over the phone.
Yeah, if anyone has a chance to see Lisa Lamont speak, run. She has an incredible story that she shares. And interesting enough, at the end of her keynote, she had, I think it was 3 people walk up to her and say, that happened to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because when we're sharing our stories, we're actually healing. We're healing our past while we're opening doors for others to do the same. So I thought that was really incredible.
Yeah.
Lisa, there's I want to talk about your radio show and then quickly about your Facebook group. But
Sure.
Your radio show, Get Your Prance On, could you just tell everyone your why behind why you started your radio show?
Sure. I started my radio show actually almost 5 years ago, because I have this group called Prancing Kittens, and it's for women, and most of them I found were entrepreneurs in the group. There's some retired and some students, but 75% of the women in the group were entrepreneurs. And so they would go in there and they would post their ad, or they'd post their business page, and I went, nobody's connecting. And I thought, I'm gonna start a radio show, and I'm just gonna start picking different prancing kittens, different kittens, and have them on my show to share their why. Like, why did you get into the business that you got into? Share a little bit about your personal life, and then talk about your business. Right. And I'm telling you, that formula, when I first got on Blog Talk Radio, that I had the notice that I had over 10,000 downloads, I'm just like, whoa, I had no idea that so many people were followed. And so this summer, I felt that I wanted to take it to another level, like this format, and do video. So I just recently this summer changed over to video. So now they get the kittens, the prancing kittens, they get to see my guests and hear their story.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I mean, you really got in early. It was such a smart time to get in. But what has it done for your brand by having your own radio show, now TV web series? What has it done for your brand?
It's done so many things. The main thing that it's done for me is that it has given me credibility as a healer, that people are getting to know me, because during each show I talk about myself. But not in a way like a commercial, but it naturally comes up in the show when I interview, and I tie it in to the healer world. And I also use it to point out to my guests, other people I've had on my show. So it's done a lot for me. A whole bunch of things come to mind.
Well, the thing about the visibility aspect of doing, radio shows or podcasts or blogs and articles and this and that. And this is what I talk to my clients about, and I'm talking out in the marketplace all the time, is the visibility aspect is a way where people can emotionally connect with us. Right. Yeah. So I know being on your show, we actually got closer. Right.
Yes,
because I got to know you on a deeper level. Right. And then when it goes out in the marketplace, people get to know us on a deeper level. And that just organically turns into business, or it turns into a larger network or fan base for us. Definitely. Right. And that's really about the visibility and influence impact. Something I want to share with everyone out there, the audience out there, is that a big part of my brand is, this is one of my, it's part of the song or one of my verses that I sing all the time. This way a brand I talk about in song and verses, is that your visibility and influence in the marketplace is directly linked to your earning power. Like, think about that for a second. Yeah. Okay. So not last year, but the year before, I started seeing, Lisa and I became very close friends pretty much overnight. We were on a retreat, and I was just like, I dig you. She did the card reading for me, by the way. And I was like, why are you not sharing this with everyone? And she's like, I don't know. I try to keep a secret. I'm like, no, no. I said, sister, you got to get these out there because that was a game changer for me
Yes.
that night. Right. But also too, when we started getting closer, when I started realizing about the marketplace is that there was a lot of programs out there, like 6-figure this and 10-figure that. And, and if you buy into this, we'll make sure that you make ... But what because of my Hollywood background and working in the Hollywood entertainment business for 15 plus years, I was like, whoa. I said, I'm sure that these programs are teaching a 6-figure program, but what they're missing, the key component, is that your visibility in the marketplace has to be at 6 figures to make 6
Yeah.
figures. So I want everyone to be thinking about that. I really admire Lisa because she's been doing a radio show, and now she's doing her TV web series, and now she's doing her video card readings where she's pulling a card for entrepreneurs out there. She's putting it on LinkedIn. She's putting it over there. She has a group on Facebook, and goes on and on and on and on, right? That is the only way where you're going to get that earning power to the level that, that's right for you out there in the marketplace. So Lisa, I want to talk about your book. So when I first met Lisa, she brought copies of books as like a gift. And so I read it like in like, I don't know, that night. I read it that fast. I just thought it was really terrific. Would you share with everyone? I know you have the book. Can you show everyone the book?
Sure. If you can see it there. It's called Boot Camp for the Soul. And as you can see, it's 54 pages because I don't like to read big, thick books. And so I had my editor cut out all the filler stuff and just get right to the core so someone could sit down, read the book in 2 hours, and then apply, which goes back to mirror love techniques. But at the time I wrote mirror work because this book is 5 years old.
Right. But something I want to talk about too, and Lisa brings up another great tool and strategy and tip that I love pushing out in the marketplace is let's not leave our wins behind. Right? Just because you wrote something 5 years ago or 3 years ago, or you were on a TV web series, last year, doesn't mean that it's over. I think that there's this kind of, especially with entrepreneurs, it's like, oh, well, that's old hat already. I'm like, no. I'm all of that is building visibility on top of influence on top of visibility. So Lisa has relaunched in her book, and she's got it back in the marketplace. And let me tell you, if you have a chance to get it, please get it. How can they find it, Lisa?
They can go to Amazon.com, and they can also go to my website, lisalamont.com, and then find a link to just download and go right to Amazon. But it's an easy to read. It applies to everybody in life. It touches on weight loss because that was the original reason, having lost 50 pounds of how the diet industry sets us up to fail. And it goes back to self-love. Like, what do you want to bring in your life? And so even this last year, the little pounds creep on, and it's just like, wait, I got to get my book out and reread it again. And I've already lost 6 pounds so far this month. So I'm like, oh yeah, every day's a do-over. Every day's a do-over.
Well, yes, and that brings me to a really important point. If you I know you're all very interested in learning more about Lisa Lamont, but also working with her, you can find her at lisalamont.com. I highly suggest that you go over there, learn more about her background. She's got blogs, she's got videos. She also has an amazing group online on Facebook group called Prancing Kittens, and you can become a member there too. I end every show with a 113 brand strategy tip. And today's tip that I want to share with all of you is how to, by blogging, is a great way to establish yourself out as an expert in the marketplace. So Lisa and I both blog, right? But another way of blogging is to cross-pollinate the blog. So Lisa and I have done blogs where we've cross-pollinated. I've gotten a quote from her or a tip from her, and I put it in my blog, and she puts it in hers. And what you do is you tag each other. But the importance behind that is to get you out of your own backyard, right? Mm-hmm. Can't stay in your own backyard, Lisa, right? If we want to build a thriving empire, right? Got to get out there. People got to know about you globally. So I really want you to think about that. And a last little tidbit about this particular tip is I've been encouraging my clients and the community out there not to put it on other platforms, but put it on your website because that's your storefront. So why are you sending the traffic somewhere else? You want to send it back to you, right? Because, we want people, right? We want to get visible, and influential because it's directly linked to our earning power. So just a couple announcements. One, again, is Lisa and I are going to be having our workshop on February 11th in downtown Seattle. I'll be sharing new brand trends for 2017, brand and marketing trends for 2017. We've also been creating an incredible community that will be joining us, and we want to make lots of introductions for everyone. And Lisa, what will you be doing in the room?
I am going to be everybody's personal psychic that day, only for business. I tell people if they want to know about personal or love life, they've got to schedule a private session with me, because I won't embarrass anybody or discuss anything private. But any questions that they have regarding their business, any blocks, I'm happy to give that download for them.
Well, thank you, Lisa Day, for being on the show and sharing your Mirror Love, your book, your strategies, your tools, how you're getting visible out there. Again, she has an amazing TV web series as well. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today for the 113 Branding Red Carpet TV web series. I'll be airing a new episode every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast Time. You can find that online, and I'll be tagging all these very top high-level entrepreneurs. They'll be sharing their strategies, techniques, tools, tips, and resources, and more. And something I want you all to keep in mind and remember is that it is your birthright as an entrepreneur to stand in your visibility and influence spotlight. So cheers, everyone. See you next week.